Let's head down to Florida for an update in the case against Alicia Andrews for the murder of up-and-coming rapper Julio Foolio. Day three just wrapped for the day, and I want to bring in Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson. Matt, you've been following this case closely. Tell us about what might have stood out to you today.
Today was another big day, day 3 of testimony, and dramatic evidence played in this courtroom there in Florida, including the takedown video of one of the co-defendants. So the jury watching this arrest video of Rashard Murphy, who was tased when he was arrested. This arrest taking place in Atlanta, Georgia, the crime in Florida. He's one of 5 co-defendants accused of planning and fatally shooting up-and-coming rapper Julio Foolio, whose real name is Charles Jones. Here's what Officer Vega said on both direct and cross. Watch.
Now, were you aware at that point, when you were in your vehicle at that time, of the murder of an individual who had a celebrity name of Julio Foolio?
Yes, through just social media, but yeah.
Did you associate the two things? That car was wanted in relationship to that homicide?
Yeah, I basically put it together on my own, based on it was Tampa and the date of entry. Right. I believe it was probably 3 days or some change after the fact.
Did you know that firearms had been involved in that homicide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is that one of the reasons you pulled your duty sidearm?
Yes, sir.
When you produced your sidearm and you were exiting your car, did you point it at the suspect that was getting out of the Chevy Cruze?
I did.
Did you give him verbal commands?
Yes, sir.
What type of verbal commands?
I believe I said, let me see your hands. Just try to get compliance from him verbally.
Did he comply?
No.
What did he do?
He decided to run.
Do you ever come into contact with Alicia Andrews?
No.
Do you know who that is?
If I'm correct, it's the lady sitting before me.
All right. Do you know anything about her?
Objection, Your Honor, outside the scope.
I'm going to sustain the objection as the way the question is phrased. So rephrase your question.
You don't know who Alicia Andrews is?
Objection. Again, outside the scope and relevance.
Overruled. You can answer.
I do not.
Was Alicia Andrews with Rashard Murphy?
No.
So she didn't run
Objection,
from you?
Your Honor. Calls for speculation as to whether she ran.
Well, I think the question was ran with Rashard Murphy, so you can answer that question.
No.
All right. Do you have any indication that Alicia Andrews was in Georgia with Rashard Murphy at any point in time?
No.
All right. Did Rashard Murphy tell you anything about Alicia Andrews?
No.
Not showing the witness on the stand because this is a gang case. Some witnesses are opting out. Andrews is the first co-defendant to go to trial. Here she is on all 3 days during testimony. She's been very engaged at the defense table, taking a lot of notes, listening closely. Now, if convicted, the 22-year-old faces a mandatory life sentence behind bars, not facing the death penalty like her co-defendants. Remember, she is the first to go to trial here of all of these co-defendants, and one has to wonder why. Is she just the easiest to, prosecute according to the state of Florida? Are they hoping that she testifies in the upcoming trials? There's a lot of questions as to why this case went first.
Yeah, and Matt, I have to wonder if it's because it's the harder of the cases to prove, because that conspiracy could be considered harder. Now, we know in court that often a lot happens outside the presence of the jury. Tell me about some arguments that may have happened.
This has been an unpredictable trial, so watch it very closely, folks. So outside the presence of the jury, there was heated arguments. Today, more passionate arguments as the jury was sent home early, as prosecutors try to connect the defendant to gang members associated with the planned murder, according to prosecutors. Now, prosecutors, they want to admit text messages from 2020, 4 years prior to the shooting when it took place, between this defendant and a rival gang member talking about the victim, to establish Andrews was aware of a beef between the rival gangs, but the defense calling them too prejudicial and irrelevant. Here's the argument.
Well, she lives in Jacksonville, Your Honor. She is from Jacksonville. It is inevitable that she's going to know people or have communication with these people. Her association, and I don't mean association literally with the gang, I mean knowing these people or coming into contact with them is not a material issue in this case. It is another attempt by the state to put this before the jury to make it appear as though she is associated with the gang when their own expert officers, detectives, are going to testify that she's not associated with the gang.
These arguments were lengthy, okay, but the judge at the end of the day ruled that they can come in with limited scope through law enforcement testimony. We're going to see a familiar face come back up there on the stand and talk about these text messages. Testimony resumes on Monday. Today was a little bit of a shorter day for this jury sent home for the weekend, but Monday is day 4.
Day 4. Thank you, Matt. You're right. It's a little unpredictable and a lot happens every day. Thank you for your great reporting.